Hey, what's up? Travis here at Books, Builds, and More, and today I have a special kind of video. It's something a little bit different. I'm going to be telling a story, but I also have an activities update as well, so maybe stick around for it. I want to start with the activities update first and show you a couple of things there because I haven't posted in quite a bit of time. I've had not enough time actually to really kind of sit down and film anything until now at this point. But I have been working on some things and I'm just kind of playing it by ear right now. However, I do want to start out with the reading activity, what I'm reading right now. Now, in my last video, which was the review of The Talisman by Stephen King, I had mentioned that I want to stay with the series, the Dark Tower series, that I'm reading as an extended reading project this year. And I'm going to go with the next book, The Wastelands. Now, I was getting ready to start this one, however, because I am participating in the Jurassic Reading Challenge of 2026, I want to go ahead and read my Dinosaur of the Month of March book, which is Stegosaurus month, and we're supposed to read something that's family themed, and I chose The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. So I am actually getting ready to start this one next because the Dark Tower series is a personal reading goal. The Jurassic Reading Challenge is a more stricter communal event. So I want to make sure that I definitely want to get anything I read per month required for that challenge in for the month. And I'm going to go ahead and read this. But also, I was sitting with some friends the other day, which is where the story time here in just a little bit I'm getting into will come into play, and I will explain more of that when I get to it. But somebody else in this group is in the middle of reading this right now. I haven't started, but I said, hold off. We'll have a discussion about this because I'm getting ready to read this for a YouTube challenge, reading challenge. And they said, okay, cool. So I'm actually going to be getting ready to start on this next. On the building front, I actually have two projects going on at the same time. My first jigsaw puzzle that I want to put on the channel and another Lego set, one that I haven't put together before, and I think I've already revealed this, both of these actually. And the first one is, well, right here on this temporary setting that I've got. I'll explain everything here in just a second, but I'm doing the literary classics puzzle, and so far I'm loving it. I've only got the edges, the entire edge layer put together on poster board. I'm actually going to show this to you here in just a second. But I'm also putting together, as far as Legos, the Stegosaurus Discoveries kit from Lego Dinosaur Missions. It's a Jurassic World Chaos Theory, and it has 4 figures in it, actually. The 2 humans, Ben and Sammy, a little velociraptor, and of course the Stegosaurus, the star of the show. So I'm putting that together. I've actually just started both of those projects. So let me start with the puzzle and then we'll go to the Lego and I'll get those out of the way. So as you can see, I've started it. I've got it on the back of this poster board because this table right here is just temporary. It's a folding table, so there's like a crease in the middle. So I wanted to keep this as flat as possible. However, I do have a special jigsaw puzzle table with drawers in it that's coming along. I've got it ordered. It should be here. I am going to have to order a frame. That's another thing I don't have, but I do have a couple of accessories I'll show in just a second. But yeah, I've got the edges already in line. Yeah, that's put together. It's just there are these white borders like right here marking like the breaks between the different book covers and stuff. And of course, now it's just a matter of getting all of these, the rest of these sorted and filling it in. And of course, I've got the poster that I'm using as the model to go by putting the puzzle together. So I've got that. And I've got a couple of accessories. I've got this puzzle guard, this puzzle glue in this, I mean, come on, this is pretty cool. A jigsaw puzzle piece shaped bottle. That's pretty cool. Now, this in the cap, there is like a tiny little scraper for scraping the glue. However, it's so tiny, and this is a fairly large puzzle. So I had this laying around the house. It's just a plastic scraper that when I glue, I'm going to be able, it's going to cover a much wider area so I could get it glued faster. And I recently picked this up too. I need to open this up and pull it out. But this is a puzzle scoop for moving puzzle sections, like big ones. It's a magnifier, which I'm not really sure what that's for, but it also has an LED light on it, so it's pretty cool. So I think that might come in useful if I need to scoop it up or anything. But yeah, once I get a frame ordered or picked up, I can't find one with the dimensions close to this. I may end up having to deviate a little bit, I don't know, and fill in whatever gaps or background that this puzzle is going to leave behind if I decide to go with a slightly larger frame than it's intended for. But yeah, once I get my puzzle table in here, I should be rocking. But I'm really excited to finish this thing up. And of course, here's the Stegosaurus Discoveries Lego build, which I'm in the middle of. I recently just started this. As you can see, I've already put the Stegosaurus and the two minifigures that come with it together. There is a little Velociraptor figure that comes with it as well, but it's not until a later section. But I've just put a little bit of this together so far, and I'm working on this main vehicle right now, so you can see like little intricate details so far, like that printed tile piece, which is a map. Then you've got another little printed tile piece, which is like a control center for, next to the steering wheel. And you have a couple of pieces that require you won't be able to see these once I get the whole thing put together, I don't think. So I guess it's a good thing now, since I haven't finished it, I'm showing it now. But you've got these sticker pieces, and one thing about building Lego sets is when it comes to stickers, I hate them. I do not have the steadiest hands in the world, and here's the sticker sheet. I've still got, a lot of stickers, or well, a few, to put on things elsewhere in the build, I'm sure. And of course, this is what's left of this one section. I'm only on section 2, and I'm about halfway through this section, so I'm about right here. There are actually 2 instruction booklets to this. I don't know why, because it's not going to be a large set at all. But yeah, that's the progress so far I've got on that one. And that's where I'm at activities-wise. I hope that sparks a little bit of interest so you can follow along and see my progress along the way. But I'm really excited about what I'm getting ready to read, build, the whole 9 yards. Now, on for the story, the headliner of the video. And this is an idea that was sparked by this recent meeting I just mentioned a little bit ago with a bunch of friends. One of the friends in this group is actually a teacher. She teaches 8th grade. And what she likes to do with her students is randomly ask these questions and goes around the classroom so that each student can answer this question. And it's kind of a get to know me kind of deal. And I thought maybe I could take that idea and bring it here and see how it works as kind of, I want to put more video, hence the title, Books, Builds, and More, which is basically miscellaneous stuff. I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of introduce something like that, even though I've done one, that Snowpocalypse thing back in January. I think that's the only more video I've done so far. I might have done another one. I don't know. I can't remember already. And these are supposed to be memories I'm storing here. Duh. Anyway, I don't know if this will be something that I'm going to be consistent with, meaning that I'm going to like schedule it like something once a month, once a week, blah, blah, blah. No, this would be something that I feel like would just be a random in the mood kind of deal thing where I may come on here and say, okay, story time, and then do whatever. So if you'll notice by the title, I put, what is your biggest flaw? And that was the question that she put to the group. Is what is your biggest flaw or your worst habit or whatever, something similar. Well, it came to my turn and I told them, you're going to probably think this sounds pretty ridiculous, and it kind of is. And it's, I have a severe case of vehicular mistaken identity. Simply put, I have a tendency to get in the wrong vehicles. And it has happened with a fair amount of frequency. But there are 2 specific samples that I cited to this group and had them cracking up because, and these incidents happened several years ago. One was my freshman year in college, which was about 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. But suffice it to say, It was bad. Yeah, it was a bad incident. Bad in the terms that it was just I was just really frustrated, really annoyed. So I'm going to tell the story about this is an example of how I'm bad about getting in the wrong vehicles. Okay, so my freshman year of college, uh, I had been walking to all my classes. I was used to just walking to all my classes. However, on campus, we did have these white vans that were student taxis. And they had the school logo on the side and a special name for them. I forgot what the name is. It's been so long. But it, identified the vehicle that is the student taxi on campus. Well, there was actually one of these little taxi stops outside my dormitory room. Well, one night I was pulling an almost all-nighter, and I had an English test the next morning, which was the class I was running late for. So I rushed out of my dorm, and I thought, okay, instead of hightailing it all the way across campus and still going to be late for this class, and I had a professor who, as soon as you sat down, you were taking that test, no matter what. So, I thought, okay, I'm going to try to catch this student taxi. Hopefully it'll get me there on time. Well, I'm standing there waiting and waiting and waiting at the stop, and the white van pulls up. But because I'm oblivious sometimes, I didn't pay attention, and this white van did not have the school logo on it. It was just a plain white van, signifying it was one of the school maintenance vans. Okay, still not paying attention. It stops. It actually stops at the student taxi little depot there. So I don't know. In my mind, I guess because I'm just full of anxiety that I'm already late and I'm stressing over this test that I'm going to be late for and probably get penalized for it, I just walk up to the front passenger side, open the door, and I'm standing there seeing the driver and the passenger in the front passenger seat, both wearing maintenance uniforms. Okay, now keep in mind, at this point, any regular, normally brain functioning person would realize their mistake at this point. But what do? Oh, I'm sorry, I'll get in the back. Shut the door before they say a word, start opening the back and climbing into the back of this van before they even said a word, still not getting it up here that I'm getting in the wrong vehicle. These are not students. That's not a van driver, for one of the student taxis. They have these other special uniforms. But this was maintenance. This was clearly maintenance. And I'm crawling into the back of this van, panicked that I'm going to be late for this test. Still oblivious, even though the back of this van is filthy. It's just messy, it's cluttered, I'm climbing over tools like water hoses, mop buckets, just, your basic maintenance inventory here. And climbing into this one dilapidated little seat back there that actually had a seatbelt in it, and wondering, where is everybody else at? Where's everybody else at? But I don't get it. I'm not getting it. Like, I'm just crawling in this van, just sitting my happy butt down in this chair, strapping myself in and saying, oh, I need to go to the English building, please. Okay, so at this point, they decide to say something, to this obvious lunatic that just climbed into the back of their van and demanding to go to the English building. Well, talk about your beyond awkward moments here. So they turn and look at me and said, well, we think you're on the wrong vehicle. And I said, this isn't a student taxi. Because at this point, I will admit, it does finally click. I was just trying to cover and doing a very pathetic job at it because I'm just getting more and more frustrated, really. I'm not so much embarrassed as I am just annoyed at this point. But looking back, I guess it was pretty funny when you look at it. But no, I said, well, is there any way you can just dash me across campus real fast? They said, no, we're on a schedule here. I said, well, why did you stop here? And they said, because we have to change a light bulb in this little shack here, meaning the taxi depot. And I'm like, oh, I said, please. And they said, no, we're sorry. You're going to have to walk. So I ended up having to walk. And while I'm walking, like busting a move to get across campus to the class that this test I am now officially late for. I mean, it's already 10 minutes past the start time. So yeah, it's just a lost cause at this point. But the whole time I'm thinking, you know what? Part of the job description for maintenance is to fix a problem, right? So late for class, problem needs to be fixed. So you would think that maintenance would step up and do their job, right? And take me to my class so that the problem is solved. Okay, yeah, I know I'm reaching big time there, or I was back at the time. I was thinking, all kinds of goofy things go through your head when you're that age in college. Everything is still pretty new to you. You're out on your own, for the first time. But yeah, that is one case of vehicular mistaken identity that I've gone through. Sounds pretty far-fetched, but it happened. And well, in case you're wondering, I got to my class, obviously late for the test. My professor actually demanded to know why I was late because, like I said, he's one of those types. Well, as luck would have it, I actually got a reprieve that day because when I explained all of this about why I was late, the whole class was hee-hawing. Even the professor. He was like, I don't think he believed me, to be honest with you, which is fine. Would I believe something like that? Knowing me, probably yes, because I'm just that kind of goofwad kind of person, that things just like that just happen to. But I got an A- on my test. Now, the second incident that had some substance to it happened several years after that, but still several years ago. But we're talking after I graduated college, obviously not top of my class. But this happened after a work shift. I was working a job where I was on an 8-hour overnight shift, the third shift. I think it was I worked midnight to 8 a.m. Well, on my way home, I decided I was so tired. I was just so tired, because I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep the day before, and I got up and worked all night. I was exhausted. But I didn't want to have to get up later in the day to come back out and do any kind of shopping. So I decided to stop at Walmart on my way home to pick up a few things, so I'd just go ahead and have them so I could go home, crash, and just have the rest of the day to chill out and rest before my next work shift the next night. Okay, so I park, go inside, get my stuff, and come back out. Well, okay, let me explain this one this way. The kind of car I was driving at the time, I had a green Dodge Neon at the time. Well, I came out to get in the car and noticed after the fact, how can I explain this okay, I didn't lock my door. I just didn't lock my door, but by sheer coincidence, the other car that was parked right next to mine, which was the exact same color, exact same model and type as my car, another green Dodge Neon sitting right next to it. But it was right before mine. So I would have approached this other car before mine. And so without thinking, I just got in this other car. And as coincidence has also had it, it was unlocked as well. So I put my groceries in the back seat, climb in, and my key's not working. Well, okay, and going back to the concept of that stupid van story where nothing clicks right away, you know, where I just don't get it right off the bat. I'm sitting here jamming this key in the ignition, trying to get it to go in, thinking, well, why is my key not working? And then something catches my eye and I look up and I'm like, again, oblivious, not getting it right off the bat. I'm asking myself, where do those fuzzy dice come from? I don't like fuzzy dice. I've never bought fuzzy dice. And then that's when it struck. I'm in the wrong car. And I looked over. I just happened to look over, and there was my car right next to this one. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Are you seriously kidding me right now? So I'm in super panic mode because I'm looking like I'm trying to jack somebody's car here. So I'm rushing to get out of this car, get my groceries out of this car, and in extreme panic, I end up leaving one bag of groceries in this other car. So, but I peeled out of that parking lot, and I was lucky that the owner of that, whoever was driving that other Neon, did not come out, because that could have turned ugly and really bad for me really, really fast. So I'm just grateful that I got away, whether I left groceries in this other car or not. I'm just really thankful that, yeah, I got lucky that time. That was one time I got a little bit lucky, but I hope whoever, I would love to have seen the look on someone's face when they found, yeah, I got some extra goodies in my car here. Where did they come from? So I don't have any idea what happened after that. But yeah, that's what happens when you have a bad case of vehicular mistaken identity. And yeah, I do still tend to do that from time to time, not as frequent as I used to do. But yeah, I've set off car alarms before, and I've had to explain, you know, look, you're just dealing with an idiot here, you know, someone who just doesn't pay attention. I've never had anybody though that a lot of times people just find it in good humor, you know. It's like, hey, yeah, it's good. It's like you know, it's not like you're jacking the hubcaps or something, you know, or vandalizing the car or anything, you know. It happens, you know, that kind of thing. So I've been lucky, but I've started paying a little bit more attention now, but sometimes I still zone out. Anyway, that's what my biggest flaw is. So tell me, what is your biggest flaw? Let me know in the comments below. And after hearing all of that, absolutely no need to be shy here. Just put it down there in the comments and share it with us. And that's it. That was a little fun to do. So that's a little bit of something about me that you get to know a little bit more than just the hobbies, the reading and the building and all that stuff, you know, the more stricter stuff that you know a little bit already about me. But now you know a little bit more about my personality and how my malfunctioning brain works. So I hope this was a little entertaining and interesting, and maybe spark a little bit of discussion, you know. I thought it was a pretty cool project. So again, I may have to do something like this every once in a while, you know, just to kind of shake it up a little bit. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. And if you've stuck with me, if you weren't too bored out of your skull to stick with me for this long, I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.